Hey, welcome to the Bouncing Potatoes podcast, another episode. Uh, it is September 17th, 2023, and I'm Christian
Right.
Rayfield.
I'm Ethan.
And I am Osandha.
And we got a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to go through some very interesting current events. We have some deep questions, and we'll be talking we'll be talking about how our weeks have been. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Osandha, I think you said you had an interesting week, so please tell us what happened this week.
Yeah. So today I went to Disneyland with Ethan himself, and I learned a lot of things. Number one, I learned what a monorail is. I know what that was before. It is quite aptly named because it is literally on one, aka mono, rail. So if you forget what that means, guys, just think of monogamy when you're with one person. Same concept. So we had a pretty relaxing time at Disneyland because what happened was I got this ticket 2 years ago. Then I got COVID on the day that I was supposed to go, which was January 1st, 2022. Therefore, I never went, and my ticket expires at the end of this year, so it was finally time to go. So we went on the train, not a monorail, just a train, and we had a fun time on that. All right, we got to it went like all around Disney, so we got to explore that, and then we went on like Winnie the Pooh, which is basically Christian would love Winnie the Pooh. Oh, and he would love Winnie the Pooh. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Okay.
So,
I did love Winnie the Pooh as a kid, by the way. I loved it.
Yeah, you would love the ride.
How about
this? It's very similar to the book that you're writing. It has a lot of. You know how in the beginning of your book, how he's on.
EMT. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a very. It's Pooh is on another hallucinogen basically in the ride.
Really? At Disneyland?
It's a very it's called the dream sequence, but he's clearly on acid, so but it's very interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, whoever thought of that they know what they're doing.
Yeah, see. Next time I go to Disney, Christian, I'll be sure to take you on it so you can see.
Okay, yeah, it's been a while since I've been to Disneyland. I mean, not that long. I mean, it was like 2016, but I guess that's a long time. No, 2019. No, 2016. I can't remember.
Yeah,
you didn't want to hear about my week.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So
okay.
So that happened. And then we went later. We ended up going to the Buzz Lightyear shooting game, and Ethan absolutely demolished me. He doubled my score. But to be fair,
he said practice.
Yeah, he's gone a couple times. So this is my first time going to Disney.
A couple times.
In 3 years. All right, so maybe 2 years.
You said he's gone a couple times. I think you mean
a couple times this year.
1,700 times.
Yeah. So, in my defense.
Now keep in mind that is not my preferred ride, so I actually haven't ridden that ride in at least a year. Which is shorter than 2 years, but it's something I don't usually do.
Right,
whereas this is Osandha's favorite ride, he says.
Well, it's my favorite ride in Disneyland, but my favorite ride in California Adventure is Goofy. And yeah, we also on the train. It was super cool because we got to see dinosaurs, and I videotaped the entire thing, and it was a really cool time. And then yeah, Ethan and I just talked a lot. We had some good chicken. Well, I had some good chicken tenders.
You walked through Toontown.
Oh yeah, and Toontown was a blast, man. It was really. It harkened back to my childhood, and it was just a really good vibe. I ate shit though. On a mini teacup type of thing. I was standing on it instead of sitting on it, and so I had to fall off it because there was no way I.
And I have that video.
He luckily got it on video, so it was worth it. But we'll send it to you. But luckily, I didn't hurt myself. Yeah, so that was the week. Oh, I do need to say something embarrassing, but I guess I'll save that for later on. But yeah, moving on to whoever wants to talk about their week next.
Ethan, go ahead.
Well, let's see. My week was pretty good. The beginning was just okay, just working and stuff. But the end, I am half Jewish. So it's Jewish New Year. Rosh Hashanah was Friday, Saturday. Well, officially on Saturday, but in the United States they do 2 days because of the time change and stuff. But so we did that, and family came in. My dad, my stepmom, they all came in, ate dinner at my cousin's house. Very nice, very nice. Saturday, my girlfriend and I went on a train adventure. We went to Santa Monica, took the train to Culver City and explored, walked around, went to this very weird. Okay, so we were saying what's to do, and there is this museum called Jurassic Museum. So I'm thinking, oh, dinosaur. We're both thinking like Jurassic Park or something, or just something dinosaur related. So we got it, and we went. Not one dinosaur in this thing, okay? Not one. First thing we see is how Noah's Ark was the beginning of humans or something. It's very religious Christian museum. No idea. And we're like, whoa, this is weird. But it was kind of cool. Not what they're talking about. But, unless you believe that, that's great. I don't. But it was cool as in the building from the outside looks like it's like one story. But this thing is like 4 stories, but they're like mini stories. So you can go up and down. It's like a maze almost. And they have these x-rays of these cool plants. Like you can see inside the plants. And then on the 4th floor, they give you tea. And I think it's maybe to represent like doves or something. But there's tea, and then you can walk around and play with the birds. It's actually super cool, some aspects of it. And there's this one room. Kind of looked like a castle, like the interior of a castle. But you go up or go down, and it's this atrium and courtyard. There's these cool paintings of dragons, which is supposed to be Adam or something, they said. And all these creatures, and it was really cool. So I actually wouldn't mind going back again to go some portions. And it's only $12, and it's right in Culver City, something I never thought was there. And it's weird because she did. I didn't want to because I know what's going on there, but nothing happened to it. but it wasn't like a typical museum entrance either. It was like, it's weird. It's almost the biggest comparison I can think of was like the entrance to a strip club, and I say this because usually those are just these doors, kind of these plain doors. It's kind of like nondescript, kind of like hidden club or something. And this museum, we thought it was the back of it because it also had this kind of nondescript black door, and you're like, is this it? And then said come in, and we come in, and then you get in, and it's packed. There's all these people there. I'm like, whoa! It's almost like it has this like kind of speakeasy vibe. It's kind of weird, but kind of cool. And somehow I check it out again. I don't know, Christian, I think you would actually like it. I feel like there's some interesting things in there. Like some portions are kind of weird, but some portions are kind of cool. And we didn't even get to experience all of it because it was humongous. I can't believe how big this thing was. And then we took the train back and went to dinner afterwards. And then today, so my girlfriend had a stomach bug thing, and I think, or she said, I don't know. Somehow it may have got transferred to me. So I woke up with some stomach things today, issues. And boy, I didn't know that I was apparently, I guess, dehydrated. And I got to Osandha's house. And I started getting really dizzy all of a sudden. I had to sit down. Oh, it's a little scary. But Osandha's mom gave me some water. And then we went off to Disneyland, and luckily nothing happened.
Well, actually, before we went to Disneyland, we went to a gas station, and luckily we got Ethan some Gatorade, some beef jerky.
Oh, yes.
And that most likely, replenished the electrolytes that he lost while he had the diarrhea going on.
He's got electrolytes.
Yeah. See, Osandha, I was trying to say the ugly, disgusting word. That's how I replaced it with stomach issues.
No, diarrhea, bro. We've all had diarrhea.
Yeah, it's just disgusting to think about. But anyway, yes. But luckily, and ever since the morning, I haven't. It's been gone. And we had a good day at Disneyland, and now I'm here. So my week was the weekend was pretty darn interesting. And let me tell you guys, I have 4 consecutive weekends. Next future weekends are going to be pretty dope. I can't wait to tell you about them. In fact, you should subscribe if you want to hear about them. Christian, how was your week?
Oh, it was pretty good. I started cooking, so I made
Ooh, what'd you make?
I think I made 3 different things. So and like it, one of them was last week. I'll say this week was like a chicken and gnocchi, like a creamy chicken gnocchi pasta. Like like gnocchi's like this chewy pasta. And there's like a
what?
Yeah, go
What
ahead.
was that thing you were making the last time after the podcast? The last time you were cooking something.
Oh yeah, that was the steak fettuccine.
Ooh, that looked really good. Let me tell you, that looked.
Yeah, it was very good. And it's weird. Like after eating, food that you've cooked for some reason that I've cooked for some reason, I feel a lot more like replenished, like I rejuvenated, like replenished, as opposed to frozen food or refrigerated food.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Well, that's because it's healthier, sir.
Yeah, well, right, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't even have to be like spinach. It doesn't have to be any spinach or anything in it. It could just be like meat and pasta and sauce, and I could have meat and pasta and sauce in a frozen form, and it's it just feels a lot better. So yeah, I mean, it's because what's in that is fresher ingredients, lack of preservatives, and other like complicated ingredients with long names. So yeah, definitely better. And the other thing was this the lettuce wraps with chicken and onions and stuff.
Healthy.
Yeah, reasonably healthy. And
it's probably cheaper to cook, huh?
Potentially, probably. I mean, it can be. Like I don't know, like getting like the steak, that's like fairly expensive. But it's not that much more expensive than the other stuff. So yeah, I think when you cook often, like when you get ingredients for the first time, it's like $5 for a bottle of like a certain sauce or something. If you use it once, it's not really worth it. But if you use it 20 times, then it starts to add up and starts to become worth it. So I think the more you cook, the more economic it is.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because there's a whole list of ingredients for every recipe, and some of them have the same ingredients, but some of them don't. So I have to get special things.
Yeah, they can eventually. Yeah, I can use them all for the same meal. Yeah, I can see that. It's like economies of scale.
Yeah, it's economies of scale, exactly. Except in this case, it's like repetition. So I've been cooking, and then I've been taking some long walks along the waterfront. There's I'm fairly close to the lake here, Lake Washington, in near Seattle, Washington. I'm like right at the south end of the lake.
Around 8-9 p.m.
Still about 8 something p.m. So I'm right at the south end of the lake.
Nice.
Yeah, and I can I'm like 5-minute walk away from the edge of the water, and then once you get there, there's just a long trail that's very close to the water, and you can see it the whole time. There's people running and biking and stuff. I have not yet run on that trail. I just walked, but eventually I'll run on it. Sometimes I have headphones on, sometimes I just walk. It's really nice. I went to lunch with my friend yesterday. We had a good time, and when we were there, we saw the Diamond League finals for track and field in Eugene, Oregon. And it was awesome. I mean, watching that was just like I saw it. Some of it was there, and some of it I just watched at home. but there were so many. Every race is faster because it's a female friend.
Interesting.
She likes other females. Unfortunately for you.
Oh.
Unfortunately for you. Yeah.
Eugene, Oregon. You're close enough. You should have gone.
No, I didn't think of that.
What?
But I should have gone. Yes, I should have gone. I should have gone. It's true. Yeah.
Next time.
I'll go next. I'll go next year. Yeah, like next year if there's one. If they have a Diamond League event, they almost certainly will. They might have the World Championships or something. I'll go. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that was awesome. So yeah, that's like the majority of it. Oh yeah, and then I ran, and I was inspired by the people who ran to run faster, so I did.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's been my week.
What was your time? Did you time
oh gosh,
yourself
my time. I am in not that great shape, so I ran 1 mile around 6:30, and then 2 800 half miles.
Still pretty good.
2 half miles at 2:45. So it's not
pretty damn good.
6 minutes and 30 seconds is you not being in good shape.
Yeah, I mean the other day I was running. I ran. The other month I ran 3 miles with an average of maybe 6:40. In a row.
Wow.
But then
pretty dope.
But then the problem is I was in the hospital, and then I couldn't. I lost the shape, and then that was not even after that long. So that was only after like a couple weeks of getting back into it. So if I was in it for longer, I'd be going a lot faster. But yeah, I know it's not super slow. I know it's not super slow. It's good.
It's not slow at all.
Also, Christian.
Well, good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Christian, I just want to say that trail by the water you were talking about, later on down, that'd be a nice date spot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'll remember that.
It would be. Have a picnic.
Yeah, you can have a picnic there. There's a park. Yeah, I mean, there's like a park, and then there's
a nice golden hour picnic. Oh my goodness! Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, we got a lot of nice water and trees here. It's pretty nice, and yeah, especially like in the morning, it's nice. All right, yeah. So that was my week, and I was there. So next up, we've got current events. So what's been happening in the world this past week? First one I find very interesting. It is to do with a strike of the United Auto Workers Union. So, title is UAW workers launch unprecedented strike against all big three automakers. And there's a guy who gets interviewed, and he says he's pissed off, and he says these companies they didn't. I mean, you can talk more about it, but he basically says the companies didn't come to the table to negotiate until the very last moment, and it makes it seem like they don't care, and they're keeping us out of work, and they're not giving us what we're asking for, and they're giving us the absolute minimum. So, and even then it's not enough. So, he's pissed. I mean, that's how it works, right? When they're pissed off, they're not getting what they want. So, you can talk more about the details even if you'd like.
I am going to quote the CEO of GM, Mary Barra, during her interview. So let me give you guys the exact quote. All right. I think we have an offer that resonates with our people, referring to her workers, saying that the offer includes pay raises up to, this is now paraphrasing, saying that the offer includes pay raises up to 21%, job security, and healthcare. Our team is ready to be at the table, ... and we need UAW leadership, which I'm pretty sure is referring to the union, to get back to the table so we can get these issues resolved and get people back to work. So she's basically saying that the union's demands are not realistic, and workers have already walked out of 3 plants, one each from the big 3 automakers. And unfortunately, I was thinking that they were gonna give us the full quote, but basically, she's just saying that the workers are not being realistic with their demands. But then the CNN person who was interviewing her called her out and was like, well, you have gotten a huge pay increase, like you have such a high salary. And she's like,
$30 million.
yeah, well, yeah, my compensation, it's like 92% based on performance. Well, lady, the thing is, your company wouldn't be performing well if your workers weren't working. So what they're asking for is the same 92% compensation like that you have because of performance. They want the exact same thing. That's what their whole thing is. But then you're going to be here like, oh, it's not realistic. So I hope that the strikes continue, and I hope that, you know, her salary decreases because of the nonsense that she's spouting. But that's my thoughts on it. You guys go ahead and say.
Let's see.
Oh,
well, 2023 is the year of the strike, isn't it? They got UPS, writers, actors, and now automakers. Boy, oh boy. I guess everyone's contract is up this year. But, my goodness, yeah. So, I don't know if you heard, but a different CEO of some other company said something like, and I don't think it was with the automakers, but he said that we should raise unemployment or something. Raise unemployment to give everyone else a better lifestyle. It was a pretty stupid quote. I'll have to find it. But he said that earlier last week. I'm like, what? But these CEOs are crazy. Bob Iger said something similar with the employees' demands our union's demands are unrealistic with the actors and writers strikes there. You know, these guys are insane, these CEOs, okay? They need to pay their people, or else you'll see what happens. I mean, come on. When the automakers, the cars stop getting made or shipped, oh boy. That'll wreck us. Right, UPS understood, because they want air conditioning in their vans. They got it, you know? So, just pay the people. Just pay the people. Come to an agreement. Just do it. And you know, do whatever you gotta do to do it. We waste so much money in this country. You can pay some people, god damn it.
Here we go. CEO Tim Gurner, who is a multi-millionaire property developer from Australia, said, and this is a quote, we need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people they work for the employer, not the other way around. So yes, he was basically saying that he wants unemployment to rise by 50% because workers have become arrogant during COVID. Interesting.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit extreme, but I do think the point about people getting a lot more less loyal to their employers, you know, for better or for worse. Loyal sounds like sounds like it's, you know, it's what they're doing is disrespectful, but forget about the morality of it. I think people have gotten a lot. I can see that a lot of people have gotten a lot more contentious with the fact that they, you know, are working for, you know, working with any sort of conditions that they don't like, and that, like I said, that could be, you know, like reasonable or unreasonable. Sometimes it's reasonable, sometimes it's hyperbole, but I think that you see that a lot. Like I have a friend who just said, you know, don't care about the companies at all. They don't care about you, and he moves around companies a lot. And well, that's putting it nicely. Sometimes he's not actually he's kind of let go, but I think I mean, you look on Reddit or, you know, social media in general, and you see a lot of people talking about their experiences with a bad manager, with a bad you know, with low pay, and how, you know, someone else is making more and they were there earlier, or whatever it is. People just don't like the circumstances. So, yeah, that's a big thing. And my opinion on whether or not they should pay these people more, I guess I don't know the full extent of, what they're, what they're both asking for. But yeah, maybe you guys can talk more about it.
Well, I just want to say, like, in general,
Yeah,
like,
Osandha, what are they asking for?
Okay, so it says here with a top existing hourly pay of $32.32. Those offers would have taken the senior most auto workers to a base pay of more than $80,000 a year, not including overtime or profit sharing bonuses. But the union started negotiations demanding an immediate 20% raise and 4 additional raises of 5% each during the life of the contract. It did lower those pay demands in late negotiations, though apparently not enough to close the gap to the automakers' offers. So, okay, so let's see. So, okay.
They also want to return to traditional pension payments and retiree health care. So workers hired before 2007 still have those benefits. Those hired since, a majority of hourly workers do not. And the union also wants to see a return to cost of living adjustments, also known as COLA, to protect, or COLA, to protect members from inflation. So that is some of the demands that the union has.
I like
yeah.
COLA.
So it's
Ultimately,
go ahead.
I think that it's a union. That this is what the union got to do.
Yeah,
It might be
yeah.
unrealistic or whatever. But this is what the union has to do in order to enact change. What's the point of a union if you're not going to fight for your workers? Then
Let me tell you something. My LA was the unions. It got me a lot of money. I like that.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm in a union too.
They're getting me even more money.
The CEOs are saying it's unrealistic and everything, but again, the CEOs are not getting any pay decrease or anything like that. They're not taking a hit to their pocket, and that's why people are so mad. And even when it comes to job loyalty, absolutely, you're right, Christian. Like, I feel like job loyalty has only gotten worse because of the pandemic and everything like that. But that's also let's take into account the fact that people were laid off like no one's business. Even your brother, for example, was laid off from Microsoft, and Microsoft is seen as like this amazing tech company and everything like that, but they still laid off people with barely any notice. So it's hard for people to have these to have this loyalty for these companies that literally will fire you, whenever. And yeah, I mean, at the same time, you get a severance package depending on if you're lucky or not, anything like that. That's totally understandable. I get that. But at the end of the day, job hopping, in my opinion, is good. Job hop all you want, but just
no. Also, the loyalty thing. Also, I feel like comes to kind of the bigger picture of do the people even really like the job in the first place? They just working there, or just like and that again goes back to I think one of the early podcast sessions we had about kind of finding a specialized job that you like, instead of just going. A lot of people they're just working somewhere to make some money, and how you gonna be loyal to that if you don't even like it? But if Christian likes rockets and aero engineering, right? So if he works with I'm gonna just throw SpaceX. If you throw SpaceX, you're likely to be very loyal to him because you likely really like it. I feel like even if they laid you off, you'd still come back or go to a different Elon Musk company, or a different rocket company, Blue Origin, something. I don't know. I just feel like if people really like their stuff, that would really help with the job loyalty too.
I agree. I 100% agree. And you do see that at my company, Boeing. You see people staying there for a long time.
Boeing, like so they have a low turnover rate of Boeing.
Low turnover, very low. It's higher. It's higher now than it was because they're hiring more. Like they hired a ton of young people since 2019. Because there were two crashes in 2018, 2019 that the 737 Max crashes that got the company in big trouble. And I think COVID was actually even bigger thing that got a lot. So when the company was in trouble, they had to lay off a ton of people, get fresh faces. And some people say it was also a strategy. They allow them to pay people less, for the same, like get the old people out who are making more money and get new people in, and new people can do just as much for not and do reasonable, almost as much for just as much for way less money. So that's like maybe a strategy that they're doing, but they definitely had to lay people off. But anyway, I'm going to say, point is, company loyalty is still very high. Like people, like the assumption is that you will stay there for, some good long time. But I actually have a coworker who's telling me like he's been there for 4 years he's probably been in the same desk for 4 years, maybe 3 years, but he's been there for 4 years. Same desk, maybe 3. And I think he's very adamant about me leaving as soon as possible, getting out to Blue Origin and maybe SpaceX, like you were just saying. Not only because I was passionate about rockets, I think I mentioned that, but he felt that Boeing just wasn't the place to be. Like I think he felt that you can make more money at Blue Origin, and at SpaceX you won't make more money, but you can work on something that's super exciting. And he did say you probably wouldn't be there for more than 9 months, or that that he would be impressed if I could make it 9 months, because that is impressive for anybody to do because they work you to death. But yeah, right. So, but yeah, in general,
real great sales pitch.
Well, hey, they are working on what I consider to be the most exciting project in human history. So there's that.
Well, that's great. But if you die before you can see the project's completion, then it's kind of pointless.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, it's absolutely true. It is. Yeah, if you die or you become miserable, and yeah, that's true. But hey, I went to the Aerospace Summer Games in 2019 when I was an intern at Northrop Grumman, and SpaceX was there, and I was just chilling there, watching SpaceX play a game against a game of dodgeball against some other team, and there was this girl next to me that was like, a SpaceX employee. She was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey," and she was like, "What's like Northern Grumman?" I was like, "Oh, well, it's like this," and then we talked about it, and she said, I'd like to be at SpaceX I'd like to make a career out of being at SpaceX. Like that's something that she was super passionate about. She's like, a crazy smart roboticist that knew all this stuff. And apparently she actually liked it. Now I will say that there was this other woman who was like, who worked there for a long time, not that long, but 3 years. And she said, she just said, don't work there. So you have differing perspectives, but I do think there's a base of people that try to stay there as long as they possibly can. And they really like it. So I don't want to just say that, you can't like it there. You can't. You just have to be very good. You have to be very smart, and you have to like be above the water, so to speak, in order to like it. Because you can love it no matter what, but if you're dying, then yeah, you're not gonna like it. Anyway, I hope that was a reasonable summary.
Well, I must say that LUSD, now I'm not sure about the teachers, but the office side at least, they must say they have a pretty high job loyalty. I'm not sure if they like it, but they stay a long time, their whole lives, because of good benefits, at least, and the free healthcare and stuff. Usually, because we have a lot of people moving around, at least, but when they're moving around, it's because they're retiring or promoting to something. They're not like leaving LAUSD, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like LAUSD definitely has, from what I've noticed, pretty high loyalty rate. But again, I'm not sure, like I said, how many of them actually like the job. But it's pretty good benefits thanks to the union stuff. Pretty interesting there.
See, for example,
like I think Osandha wants to do that, right?
Yeah. I have never stayed at a job besides my current company. I haven't stayed at a company for for even 2 years because I have commitment issues when it comes to jobs, and I get very angsty even after just 6 months. So like I said, I've never stayed longer than 2 years at any job besides this one. And the only reason why I stayed at this job was one, because I couldn't find another job because I reached a point where I kept getting promoted. But since I kept getting promoted, my hourly wage became so high that it was hard for me to find a job that paid the same or higher than the one that I currently make right now. Luckily, I found one with LAUSD, and hopefully, I can do what Ethan does, which Ethan has not stayed a year at any three of his jobs he's had at LAUSD yet. We'll see what happens with the third one. But he keeps promoting himself, so that's kind of my goal too. And going back to the whole union thing, yeah, like LAUSD administrative assistants, they get $40 an hour after 3.5 years, whereas when I was administrative assistant, I was getting 15.5. Obviously, their administrative assistants need more experience and everything like that, but still, that's crazy when you think about it. So, yeah, like Ethan was saying, my goal is to end up retiring with LAUSD, but I still want to retire by 40. So, moving on, I think, to the next current event. You guys want to talk about the hypocrite, or you want to talk about the space one?
I like to do space. Let's talk about it.
Works for me.
All right.
So, Christian,
talk about I didn't really read this all. I got a little confused.
Okay. All right. Well, so basically, there's a planet out there, 120 light years away, which is far, super far. The closest star is 4.5 light years away, Alpha Centauri, and this is 20 times as far
127
away.
Yeah. Christian,
25 times as far away.
Is it 120? Wait, 4
25 times
divided by 4. 25
28
times,
20. It's like 27.
Yeah.
It's very far away, guys. Come on, this is
I don't know why we're doing this. Yeah, I don't know why we're doing this.
Yeah. So it's far.
Yeah, it's far.
We can't reach it.
Not yet. Once 150 years, we'll make a wormhole, and then we'll go because apparently there's life there. And well,
is that where the Mexico alien came from?
The Mexico alien? I haven't heard about that.
Oh yeah,
about the Mexican aliens? They're fake. They're fake. We all know they're fake.
But you gotta show them the picture. It's really funny what they said. Oh look, we found an alien that's a mummified.
Let me see.
Show him the picture, Osandha. He's pulling up. This thing looks like E.T. It's so funny.
I'm looking at it. Oh god.
Oh, he looked at
it.
Isn't that hilarious? So many jokes are being so funny.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe you didn't see it. Oh, it was because it was all over Twitter, and he doesn't. I mean X, and he doesn't really pay attention to X.
Yeah.
So just clarify.
Guess what's the only reason they go on X for?
SpaceX.
Well, okay, yes, but within a broader umbrella, it's Elon Musk.
Yeah.
My guess wouldn't have been appropriate for it. My guess wouldn't have been appropriate.
What's more Christian Rayfield? Inappropriate nonsense or Elon Musk?
Inappropriate nonsense.
Sure. I mean, unless we're talking about Osandha is a weird looking alien. I could say saying inappropriate nonsense like that. Well, that's not inappropriate.
Technically, I am an alien, so I mean.
Yeah.
James Webb Telescope stumbles upon signs of possible life on Earth-like exoplanet. So
yes.
K2-18b, which is outside our solar system. Wow, and it's 8.6 times as massive as Earth. That's pretty crazy. So.
Oh wait, what? Really? That's
yeah.
Good. That can have a population of like 300 billion people. If they wanted to.
By more I mean, it could, yeah, or
Like if
Lot
it,
more.
like if it was us, like if we were instead of if we occupied that planet instead of this one, imagine that's like, and we have what 8 billion people. I feel like I can have 300 billion.
But your math was so off. Though.
Yeah.
It's 8 times.
No, it's
I
not 8
know.
times.
I know too. But
No,
I didn't. I wasn't doing 8.
No,
I didn't do the math. I was just thinking a massive planet, and I was thinking, man, that can
surface
have
area
300
is
billion.
4 pi r over. Fuck, what is surface area? I can't even remember what surface area is. It's been so long.
Oh, I hated surface area.
We're not gonna get into that. Anyway,
surface area.
Wow. How cool! It's classified as a mini Neptune due to its size.
Yeah, it's 4 pi r squared. Okay.
Good thing is maybe when we destroy this planet, we can move to that one.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
We're not gonna destroy this planet.
I have a question. I have a question for Christian.
People, what?
Would you? Because I know you said you want to go to Mars, right? So if you had an option, would you want to go to this planet to explore or Mars?
Or Mars?
Like
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think I could do an or. Like, I mean, like, okay, are you saying, like, would I rather live 200 years from now when we could potentially go to one of those?
Yeah, if it's feasibly possible to go to this I'm gonna call it mini Neptune.
The problem with the question, the problem with the question is that the time, the era of civilization where we're going to be able to go to a place like versus the era for the first time. But versus the era where we're going to go to Mars is a lot different. So, okay, but I guess I'm answering your question. So
I know, but
in its truest form, I think I'm answering your question because you're asking would I like to go to one of those that planet for the first time? Would I like to be the first person on Mars, or would I like to be an explorer, a new explorer of Mars, versus a new explorer of that other planet? A new explorer of Mars, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. That would be. It's probably more consequential to go to Mars to be one of the first people on Mars than it is to be one of the first people to go to this other planet, no matter how far away it is. So I think I'd rather do that. Yeah, like it's nice to be. Can I get philosophical? Because I really like to. I'll try not to bore you.
Only if you answer this one. Only if you answer this one question. Quick, super, and then you get all the philosophical. So. Since it's more consequential, but whatever. If at the same exact time, not years apart, but let's put some fiction here, non-fiction, fiction, and Elon Musk said, "All right, Christian, we have 2 SpaceX rockets, one going to Mars and one going to mini Neptune. They're both unlocked and said no one's ever touched them before. Which one would you choose?"
How long would it take the rocket to get to the Neptune planet?
Same amount of time.
I think this thing is.
Which one do you want to explore more? Is Ethan's question. That's it. All things being equal,
I can't answer that.
Do you want?
I can't answer it like that in a way that would make any sense. I'm not that okay. It wouldn't mean anything for me to answer it like that. But I would say Mars. Because that's the one that's gonna because that's the one that's gonna get us more people out in space. If we had, and it's because it takes longer to get to the other planet. Let
me tell you something. I'll tell you why I love this guy so much, because his mind is so smart that even when it's a fantasy question, he's still got to think about it logically. I love it. All right, now let's get philosophical. What you got for us, Christian?
Okay, so if you think about it, the people that came first had a lot to. Am I dark? Am I super dark? I'll try not to be dark. Okay, whatever. Okay. The people that came. Yes, I am dark. My skin is quite dark. Yeah.
Your camera. It is always when it uploads, it somehow is the best of us. So I'm not even judging your camera anymore.
Yeah, right. I don't know how you do it either.
All right. So anyway, so the people that come first on you know, the people that came first on the planet Earth, the people that come first, I think are yes,
Well,
yes,
Osandha,
yes,
what's so
Osandha and
funny?
Ethan, Osandha.
I mean, gosh, I
Every
saw
single
it.
thing that you can. You're in middle school, Osandha. What is wrong with you, man? I don't understand. Seriously,
Man,
I've never met
man,
anybody who laughs
Josh,
so much.
let me let me tell you something. I can't even focus on you, Christian, because all I saw was Osama biting his lip. I'm thinking, what is he thinking about? So what do you say?
Okay, so I was saying, I said something very. Okay, I'm just gonna speak because Asana is just gonna lose his mind for no reason. So the people that have come first, the civilization, set a precedent. Not only set a precedent, but laid the groundwork
Oh, I
for
get it.
for yeah for everybody else to come after them. But I think that's not only true for people
You're
who lived two
distracting me,
thousand years
Osanda.
ago.
I'm gonna turn your camera off to
It's not
distract
only
you.
true for people who lived 2,000 years ago. It's also true for us right now. And I think that in so many ways, this is like I think we just don't usually talk about what the future is going to be like and what it's going to be like to go to whatever this is, Kepler 22b or whatever planet it is, what it's going to be like to go there. But eventually, I hope we will get, like, even you said, oh, the planet's going to get destroyed. I say it's not going to get destroyed. I say we'll have a future that's like Star Trek, and that we get to go out and we get to meet all the aliens. Yes, there are aliens. I believe there are aliens. um, and we get to do all sorts of interesting things that we can't even imagine now. So the point is, we can set a precedent for the future, and going to Mars would be an awesome way to do that. So that's basically what I'm saying.
But now the planet won't be destroyed, but we'll be losing uh some people for sure.
Probably will
It is
lose some people.
already.
Yeah, so it won't be like destroyed because think about it, son. It always fixes itself. We had an ice age, and then we didn't have an ice age. These things are very cyclical, But, we'll like the people in Florida that when the oceans rise off, they'll move or they'll die. So like people patterns will shift. We'll lose some people due to extreme events.
Just
But
big
he's right. It
storms
won't die.
big storms, big waves coming over cities, and heat waves in places. But the extremity of the climate. Right? Wait, I've got to finish this point. The idea that the Earth is going to be destroyed. The idea that the Earth is going to be destroyed because of the climate, I think, is total hyperbole. Not because it's impossible for it to happen. No, I think it's absolute total hyperbole. Not because it's impossible for it to happen, but because I think we are plenty capable of inventing enough technology, understanding enough science to solve the problems. We're already on course to do that. It's not like the planet is getting worse than it was 50 years ago. Over the last 10 years, there's been an enormous shift in the climate and in the emissions of the world, and not just the United States, but the entire world. Wind and solar and geothermal, the prices have gone down to lower than the prices of coal. Per kilowatt of energy you're producing, and the grids are huge, and for those sources of energy, and they're only getting bigger. What? What'd you say?
Ozone layer is healing.
Yes, and so the idea, like, the reason why people can still say things are bad and things will get worse is that those things are true, but that's the position and the velocity. There's also the acceleration. The acceleration is in the positive direction. Velocity is in the negative direction. Position is negative. We have an acceleration in the positive direction, so eventually the velocity will be positive. Eventually the position will be positive, meaning eventually things will be getting better, and eventually things will be better. So yeah, and I think just one more thing. we tend to totally underestimate how great technology will be. I have such an optimism about how capable technology will be that I think people will be laughing at how serious people took this climate crisis. We can literally change the weather on demand where any point, any place in the world in 200 years. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's what we'll be able to do. So that's why I think
200 years, Christian, they can do that now.
Change the weather anywhere in the world, like get rid of a tropical storm, a level 5 tornado, level 5 hurricane. Get rid of it. Just banish it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We'll be able to do a long time from now. Maybe 150 years. Maybe like 100 years.
Let me finish, Christian.
Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Was it Russia? I believe one country, I believe Russia, does have the technology to grow a tropical storm and direct a hurricane and direct its path towards another country.
Okay.
So
cool.
Theoretically, if they can grow one, they can probably take it away. But they're obviously did it for warfare. But it's out there.
Yeah.
And they have done it before. They have tested.
That's horrible.
They grew the hurricane and they changed its path.
Yeah.
Towards
yeah. Well, okay. It's obviously not great for
it's
geopolitical
horrible
reasons.
for that particular segment, but in terms of the technology Christian's talking about, it's closer than 200 years for sure. Like, sure, it's probably early stages, but I feel like the next 50 or less gonna have to do something like that. Stuff with like cloud seeding. That's like cloud seeding to make it rain. That's getting better and better every year. I feel like
there you go.
That's much closer than that timeline.
So you don't think the planet is gonna be destroyed?
Oh no, I said that because everyone else says it, and that's what that doomsday clock says. So it's like a half joke.
Okay, yeah.
And don't you love when the scientists go out and say it? They bring out the doomsday clock, and we're one more second closer to midnight. Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, yeah. Osandha seems to disagree. Funny. Is that you not?
Well, I just want to summarize again the article. So basically, the telescope found observations showed a possible detection of a molecule called DMS. All right, and on Earth, this is only produced by life. But the issue is, and I feel like it's low key kind of being arrogant, is we're assuming.
You didn't answer its question.
I will circle back to it. We're assuming that this molecule is only produced by life, and it's low key arrogant because, for all we know, aliens could produce this molecule. But anyway, in terms of answering your question, I do not necessarily think that.
Wait, can you say that? You just said that you think it's only. You said they say it's only produced by life, but you think it can be produced by aliens. Aliens are life, so I don't understand what the.
I was a little confused by that too, actually.
Yeah, wait.
Okay.
I was still actually processing what you said when you started talking something. I was like, wait, did you just say that the thing's produced by aliens? But
I thought you were gonna say you think it can potentially be produced naturally. Is that what you want to say?
No. So, an abundance of methane and a carbon dioxide and a shortage of ammonia support the idea that there might be a water ocean hiding below the hydrogen-rich atmosphere of mini Neptune. But
they're saying that phytoplankton produce that phytoplankton. So you're saying that if aliens produce it, meaning you mean intelligent aliens versus phytoplankton, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, we're being a little arrogant to assume that it's only life, because it's only produced by life, right, on Earth. That molecule is only produced by life. Am I correct?
Plants.
Okay.
Bacteria.
All right. But the issue that I have is that we're assuming that aliens cannot produce that molecule. We don't have any proof that aliens
are life.
Right, but just because I understand that. But aliens, let's say if aliens can produce that molecule, then we're just assuming arrogantly that humans can live on that planet. We don't know that.
But aliens still life.
Well,
aliens still life. I understand that, but
so we could live
so
on the planet.
If we assume they can produce it, then life can produce it. I think you're just thinking. Are you thinking life equals people?
If the atmosphere is breathable, it doesn't matter who produced it. But I don't even think they're saying it's breathable. I think they're just saying that it's something that was produced.
It has life. It's basically just saying that it has life in order to produce that molecule. That's what it's saying. But we're again arrogantly assuming that. Also, you're saying the aliens are living. How do we know that they're living? That's a deep philosophical question. Are aliens even alive?
What?
Well, they're not dead. If they're walking. Okay.
No. Okay. Listen.
Life doesn't equal people and animals. If you're walking around, breathing, or talking, or moving, you're living.
But what is life to an alien? But what is life to an alien?
Okay, here. I read a book.
Living, walking around.
There's a book series called The Old Man's War series, science fiction. There's an alien race called the Oben, who are these big, I guess, spider giraffe. They call it, he says, like mixed between a spider and a giraffe. I don't know what that is, but they aren't conscious. Yeah, they aren't conscious. Okay, they can move and they're highly intelligent. They have crazy technology, but they can't feel until. So they were created by another alien race, and that alien humans basically figure out a way to give them consciousness, but only for a short time, and then they have devices that they can put on and take off to turn on their consciousness, meaning to turn on their feelings, to turn on their their emotions and all that. So I can see the argument for, is something that has the ability to create complex molecules alive. If you say that alive means conscious. So, but at that point, you're basically saying that something can be intelligent, okay, and it can be the same thing as dirt, meaning it's literally just a construction of the universe that's making things in an intelligent way, meaning it can interact with you in an intelligent way. Okay, that's AI. That's basically what you're saying. That would be a machine. Isn't that? I mean, right? It's the same thing as AI. You're saying something has to be intelligent.
That's not exactly what I was saying, but thank you. That kind of helps my point. It kind of harkens back to the classic age-old question. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. It's kind of that's the vibes I'm getting from this conversation.
I don't see it. I don't understand.
It makes a sound, Osandha.
But does it? Well, no one's around to hear.
What's the tree falling in the forest here in this analogy?
You've never heard the tree? I don't know.
No. I just mean.
Vibe.
I know the analogy, but what's the analogy you're making? What's the point you're making?
Well, okay. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that we're applying human stuff and to alien. Just because we view what we're doing right now is living, right? But for an alien, if they were acting like us right now, that could be death. We don't know. They're aliens. How can we so arrogantly claim that they are living and then they are dead? We don't know anything about their species.
Dude, I think you're thinking on a crazy level here. I don't know what you're even trying to say here. Like you're saying that
they're on that planet that makes the thing they're alive.
But that's us arrogantly saying that it can only be produced by life. That's how it is on Earth.
So are you saying it can be produced by dead people?
We don't know. That's my point, because it's a whole different planet, 12 billion light years away.
how could an alien be dead and live a human
But
life?
how could
Like,
a
how could
dead
they live
something
this life
produce
and
something?
well, how could they? How could they? You said they could live this life and be dead. What is that? What is that? And what does that mean? Like, I'm curious. Like,
For an alien, we don't know what their existence is. We don't know what constitutes them living or what constitutes them dying. Also, like for example, when we die, methane I think is released into the air and stuff like that. When aliens die, maybe that molecule is lifted out into goes out into the air when they die. We don't know that because it's 12 billion light years away.
But that means there'd
oh,
still be
you mean
aliens on the
CMS,
planet.
DMS, DMS?
Mm-hmm.
They die. Okay.
Maybe when they die, their bodies produce that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
But
I understand.
I think you were saying something a little bit more profound. You were saying that you don't know what aliens are fundamentally. Like we don't know if if they if they live in the same way that we do. Meaning we don't know what it means to be alive. Meaning what is anything? I don't know. My brain is
No.
broken.
You're taking it too profound now. So I think we should. This is a good time to move on to the final. The
Okay.
final is brought to us by another hypocrite in the government. Her name is Lauren Boebert. So, if you guys don't know who Lauren Boebert is, she is a Republican. All right, and she has in the past said stuff like let me go ahead and find the article. Y'all
Republican
converse among
Republican congresswoman.
yourselves.
Republican congresswoman.
Thank you.
Yes.
Republican congresswoman
Mm-hmm.
who. Okay, so I guess I'll say what what happened.
She was watching a play, and she was vaping and doing inappropriate stuff with her man in the play, and she got escorted out.
Yes, so she was watching a live performance of the musical Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
She and her companion, who, fun fact, is a Democrat, were escorted out because of vaping. And also, in public, they were groping each other. Now, I ain't gonna lie. You know, I've done some things in a theater with my significant other at the time. I'm not here to judge you. Alright? Ain't no shame in that. You know what? Whatever. Also, for reference, the age for Beetlejuice is 10 and above. Alright? So it's a family-friendly type of thing. Vaping, I haven't vaped in public, but I've seen plenty of people vape in public. It's not really that big of a freaking deal. Alright? That's not an issue. The issue, alright, number one, her excuse for it was that she's going through a divorce. So she just, that was her excuse. She's going through a divorce. The issue, again, is that she has previously talked about LGBTQ people and their quote-unquote appropriate behavior. All right? From what I can understand, she's talked about how, like, drag queens are bad and children shouldn't be exposed to that type of behavior. And she has also said, disparaging comments about trans people. So that's why a lot of people are calling her out now because of this very clearly inappropriate behavior where she was touching the man's pant area and the man was touching her chest area. And again, it's a family-friendly show. So that's why I especially wanted to point out the hypocrisy. So you two go ahead while I find some quotes.
Well, I don't have much to say.
Very hypocritical. And she shouldn't, again, all government people should be, not be hypocritical, like Gavin Newsom. And yeah, she should be escorted out. Don't you agree, Christian?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Christian is not Christian is not amused by the current event, I guess.
I'm trying to research this person a little bit more. I mean, just curious.
So she has, done some quotes like tweets. Sorry, take your children to church, not drag bars.
It's good. It's a good idea. Go to Twitter.
A North Carolina preschool is using LGBTQ flag flashcards with a pregnant man to teach kids colors. We went from reading Rainbow to Randy Rainbow in a few decades, but don't dare say the left is grooming our kids. Also, I will say it's very hilarious that she's dating a Democrat, which very interesting. But anyway, it's fine. We'll move on to, because we're nearing the end of our time. So let's move on to the deep question. Christian doesn't have any deep questions prepared, so I'll ask you guys a deep question that I just thought of on the spot based on our conversation. I already know Christian's answer. Do you guys think we should be exploring space or exploring the ocean in hope of life after, if we do, have to leave Earth? Now, I just realized with this question that it's a bad question. So, obviously we should be
what the heck?
Obviously we should be exploring space because the Earth won't be able to, have life with the ocean.
It's a decent question if you leave like half of it off, that leaving the Earth part. Just we haven't explored Earth.
Why are we exploring space so much instead of exploring the Earth? Instead of exploring the ocean, when there's so much more that we still don't know about the ocean. We've kind of just given up on the Earth, and we've gone and decided, let's populate Mars. Let's go ahead and populate all these other places. But we've kind of low-key given up on Earth in the fact that we don't even know what's going on in the ocean. Also, how about this? Would you guys rather live in the ocean, like somewhere in the ocean in an underwater place, or would you rather live on Mars?
I'd rather live in Atlantis. Atlantis is looking like, have you seen Aquaman? That shit's dope. I don't want to live right there, and I love the ocean so much.
So you'd rather live on
the ocean.
So, I think the ocean is the most terrifying thing about Earth, by far.
Which is why we should explore it.
That's why he's going to space.
But you should conquer your fears. And like you said, space is terrifying as well. But with the ocean, I always hope that we're gonna find a 500-meter squid down there. Like 500 meters, like just crazy big, just a ridiculously long thing that just eats everything down there, and it has to be so low. Absolute Kraken, yeah. And just in lots of them.
Why do you want to survive?
Because that would be awesome. And then it would prove all those Vikings right. They'd be like, hey, there were Krakens in the water. We told you about them. We wrote stories, we drew pictures, and you guys, we don't believe that for 2,000 years. And then lo and behold, or 1,000 years, lo and behold, there's Krakens. Like that would be pretty cool. I know we haven't seen any, but maybe they just exist at the very bottom of the ocean the entire time they're living, because they don't want to be exposed to the vibrations from boats or something like that. I don't know. But like
that'd be terrifying, bro.
Terrifying?
Yeah.
Well, see, this is the reason why. This is the reason why I'm so afraid of the ocean, is because I don't know. I've had a lot of nightmares about it, but I also think that that the moment you just imagine dark water, in water at night, even
that's dark though. We don't like that.
Yeah, no, that is the most terrifying thing ever. I couldn't imagine just jumping in the middle of the ocean, in the boat in the middle of the ocean, jumping into the water at night, or falling off a boat into the water. That to me is the sharks, squids, eels. Squids can pull you down to the bottom of the ocean. They can just grab you and pull you down. The bigger ones, they just rip you. Jellyfish, big jellyfish, man of wars, and like all kinds of crazy shit that would just kill you instantly. Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. And I don't think killer whales eat people, but man, just imagine if oh god, I look water. I've had so many.
Don't forget about the dolphins.
Oh, dolphins! Can they have they ever harassed or attacked people? And I'm
Oh,
sure
they
have,
hurt
but,
people. Yeah, they hurt.
Okay.
But mostly because they're a little too excited, so they like I'm not like that's the real reason they're a little too excited. So they're trying to hunt people, and they hurt.
Okay, but they're not pissed off and like trying to eat them.
No, but they're very aggressive mate. They have very aggressive mating things, and they try to mate with the people. Or like the males are very excited. So if there's human there, then that's like if you look up the dolphin injuries or even deaths, that's usually how it's happened.
Next deep question. If you guys were in a zombie apocalypse, would you want to die right away or would you try to fight? Zombie apocalypse. We're talking fast zombies.
Fast zombies.
I'd try to fight them.
I'd fight. Well, I wouldn't fight them. I would not try to fight. I mean,
I would just die right away. I ain't gonna lie.
No.
Well, I mean, the options are die right away. I don't want to sit there. I'm gonna do something. Like my first option is try to get away from them, but I'm not gonna sit there and die right away. I'm like, wow, what a useless way to end my life.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna like try to make a settlement. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna just get eaten. Hopefully it's a fast death. Obviously, I hope they kill me really fast.
Wait. I thought you were saying try to avoid getting eaten. You might as well put off being eaten if you're gonna get eaten at the end. Might as well live a little bit first.
I'm just going to get eaten, bro. Like there's no point. For me a zombie apocalypse. Look, this is what I said. Since I got LASIK, before my LASIK, I would have just died right away. Now I'm gonna die right away, but at least I'll be able to see who kills me. That's how the zombie apocalypse is gonna go for me.
You gotta change your perspective.
I gotta go real quick because I gotta say the embarrassing thing. So I would say it's not embarrassing necessarily, but it's really humbling. So again, I lost my bet with Ethan, so this is why I gotta say this. When I was first dating my ex, like the very first year that we were dating, we would go on dates, and when we would be like walking around in the mall, someone would look at me, they would look at her, and then they would look back at me. And I could tell that these motherfuckers were thinking, what's she doing with him? And that was really humbling and hurt my feelings hella bad. For like the first year. Like I mostly got over it, I guess, but there would be a lot of times
all the time.
The first year it happened often, at least from what I remember. It happened. So they would look at me, they would look at her, and then they would look back at me. And then later, like when we were going prom shopping, like for my clothes and everything, the dude at Men's Warehouse, he pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, like I was so angry. He was like, "So what are you guys, friends, brothers, brother and sister, cousins?" And she was finally like, "No, boyfriend and girl." He's like, "What, really?" And I'm just in the back. I'm like, "Yeah, we are."
Ooh.
So that shit was annoying. I'm not gonna lie. So if that were,
but it stopped after the first year.
There was like one or two more times when it happened, but like I didn't notice anything after that. So I guess my deep question for you guys would be: is if that was to happen to you, would you guys be mad or would you be flattered? Like, would you take it in a bad way like I did, or would you just think like, "Oh yeah, that's cool"?
I'd probably be a little mad.
I do my best to see it in a good light, like I don't. It'd be hard. Like it's not easy to be in someone's head, but I would assume the best.
If someone went, wait, what? I'd definitely be
mad. Wait, what?
All right. Well, we're nearing our time limit, so it's your turn, Christian, to take over.
All right. The quote. I have several, but one that's really inspired me is something that you should really consider if you're in a rough spot. Go out of these quotes we have. You are only powerless if you believe you are powerless. Very important. And it's true. And it gets to a deeper, I don't know how much time you want to have, but it gets to a deeper question of, does everything happen for a reason? And that could be another quote, but maybe that should be the quote.
Yes, too. Here you go. See, now that's what you should say before you just start saying that stuff on the chat.
Say it again. I couldn't hear you. You're kind of.
Oh, I say now that's what you should say before you just start randomly saying that type of stuff on the chat.
Oh, okay. Well, listen. When you believe that you are powerless, why do you believe that you're powerless? And should you believe it? Sometimes you actually can't control something, but if something is hurting you so much that it just seems impossibly difficult to overcome, maybe the reason why you can't overcome it is because you're believing that you can't overcome it.
Ooh, that's consider that quote.
Like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, that's fair. Well, unfortunately, before you got to the deep quote, if you want to do the whole everything happens for a reason, I don't necessarily believe everything happens for a reason, because then you also start to turn into the realm of the law of attraction and all that BS. And the law of attraction was just a marketing thing. Hate to break it to y'all. Because if you really believe in the law of attraction, then that excuses people who rape others, because then you're going to say that they attracted the rape. So, no offense, I don't personally believe everything happens for a reason. Weren't you all about that? No. Number one, let's put more context into that. I am not about raping. I am very much anti-rape.
No.
I'm all right.
No, but like in high school, like weren't she the one telling me about the book or something?
Yeah, because my mom was all about it, not me. I didn't believe it.
Jeez, you're very convincing. You told me it seemed like you're all about it.
The law of attraction is BS. Again, just a marketing thing. I do not believe that everything happens for a reason. Ethan, do you believe everything happens for a reason?
Well,
I don't know. I maybe halfway, but maybe not. Because I don't know.
I can counter you.
Maybe some things, maybe not some things.
I can counter your argument on this.
What?
So it doesn't have to be that you've brought upon rape upon yourself, okay, or any other bad thing, dying or getting killed. You can say that there are things that you have to work against in life. Bad people, the other spiritual dark forces of some kind, whatever you want to believe in. Some people would say the devil, or some people say other things. But if you believe that there are things like, life is about survival, among other survival and reproduction and thriving and all that, being happy, but you believe that there are, things that you have to overcome in life, you don't have to have, brought upon something bad. You have to get through, because everybody experiences bad things, right? Every single person on earth. So you could say, well, okay, all these things happen just because, somebody bad did something bad to you. But if you think you live beyond the bad experiences, you have it, and then, okay, it happens and it's horrible. And there can be a string of horrible experiences. Many people have gone through a string of horrible experiences, but maybe everybody. But once those are over, you're still alive. Sometimes, if you're still alive, what do you gain? What you can either have it as a total loss, as something that you experienced that was horrible, that you never want to, you just want to keep feeling bad about, or you can think, you can feel bad about it still, but you can think, well, there's something about it that is meaningful to my life, then I'm going to say, I don't want that to happen again for me or for other people, something like that. So I'm just saying there's a way you can learn from an experience. There's a way you can grow from it. And there's a way you can, use it to help other people. That's all I'll say.
All right. So last thing before we should probably wrap up, but I will say, yeah, okay. I get what you mean. You're saying that it should be a learning lesson. I totally agree with that. But when you say everything happens for a reason, that's not the same thing as everything should be a learning lesson.
Let me say, okay, it's weird that the word for a reason doesn't mean because of something you did. It means because of something in the future. That's what the phrase is meaning when I say it, I should say. It's a really confusing phrase, and sometimes it goes both ways, but that's more what I'm trying to say. I mean, does everything happen for a reason? It happened for practical reasons. It happened in some ways, but not for a profound reason. I gotta think about it more. But I don't think I'm trying to like say what you're thinking I'm saying. So yeah. But,
okay. I'm gonna let you have the last point on that since you're hosting. So sign us out then.
All right. Well, it has been an incredible discussion. We've gone to space, to the oceans, to our hearts, and to our minds, and we will continue to inspire our listeners as I know you've all been inspired by our discussions. Have a great night. It has been great. I'm Christian.
I'm Ethan.
And I was Osandha.
Was.
Great. See ya.